Hello and welcome to a really good earnings race for the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo. This is in update 11, so 11.0, in the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo Championship Series. Now, for this particular race that I'm showing you, I am currently fully upgraded. However, you don't have to be. I did this years ago when I had PR of 126.8. That was with all threes for upgrades. And I'll have a link to that video at the end of this video. It's an older video, but still, I'll show you how to get it done. In that particular championship series, it was in tier 7, but regardless, it's the exact same race. And so you can see that it's also possible with lower upgrades, and that's really good. Now, here's the only cut I'm going to take being fully upgraded. I haven't tried this before where I'm going to skip the traditional first cut that I would usually take. If you've seen me do this race before, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can see that in the other video, so I'm not going to do it in this one. I thought I'd give it a shot because this first corner, it is wide enough that I can get around traffic. So this is the one you could cut to shave a bit of time, to save a bit. It's also worth mentioning that anytime you're off track, you're not earning anything. Sometimes the time benefit is worth it. Like at certain tracks, this isn't possible without taking cuts. Like here, there's two reasons to cut. One, to save time. One is to avoid annoying traffic. And that section I just drove through can get very difficult traffic-wise. This car is so fast that it might not be needed. And drafting is awesome in this race. Now take a look, watch this. I pass him and catch some more draft. That's ghost drafting, baby. I love that. It's kind of funny that a bot's disappearing, yet I can still catch a push from him. So I love this. I love having the drafting in such a monster of a car. Because this car is such a monster, the drafting doesn't really hurt my braking points. Oh! Now, when that happens, be really careful how you recover. Don't be so quick to get back on track that you accidentally get in an accident, because that's just multiplying your errors. So, I'm getting squirrely there. If you've seen my videos, you know I say this a lot. Tilt B controls are really good for this type of racing. When you go off track, you're going to get squirrely, and if you're tilt A, you're going to get stuck in a skid. And some people say that you can feather the brakes to get out of it. That's true, just not as fast as tilt B. With tilt B, I lift off that throttle and I can get back control instantly. And so that's the wonderful thing about tilt B, is that you can be off the throttle and the brakes and regain control. In real life driving, that's what you do to regain control. If you're in a standard, you hit that clutch in as soon as you can. If you're in an automatic, you throw it in neutral. Winter driving, it's something I'm well trained in, being in Canada and in a colder part of Canada where, well, right now there's icy roads. We actually had a warm snap and it rained and then froze the same night, so it can be a bit dangerous. So we know about how to handle that stuff here, and lots of other people do if you live in areas that it's freezing. So that's my preference for controls, just for that reason. And you'll notice that. Watch what happens when I get squirrely. You'll notice that I let off the accelerator, but there's no brakes. So with tilt A, it's always full throttle or full brakes. And there you go. I used to drive tilt A exclusively, first 18 months playing the game. Right there, you can see me lift off the throttle, very quickly recover. So it's just some driving techniques. And then, wait, is this? No, this can't be the perpetual point. Can it? No, I don't think so. There's too big of a gap here. I don't think I passed 42 cars yet. That's what you have to do to get to the perpetual point. I mean, it could be at this point, but I just don't think so. So, assists. You need to have all of them off. You're not going to do off-track driving with assists on and have it go very well. Like steering assist low, maybe. Ooh, that was, maybe, but honestly, at that point, there's just no use having steering assist low on, I find. I really don't like it. I use steering assist high on Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Daytona Motor Speedway. Sometimes Richmond, actually, too. I find it on those oval tracks that can help. Okay, now this should be... well, maybe not. The bots are closer together, but not as close as I would expect. I wasn't counting. So, you could go back and count to see, did I pass 42 cars yet? But that's the secret number, 42. And it's true on every single track. If you can pass 42 cars, the 43rd car is the first car at the perpetual point, and from there on, they'll be nicely close together. Here, they're not close together, right? The next car is a ways up there, but it should be really quick. So we'll just keep watching for it. Now you can see that this isn't a perfect run. I'm giving you a real run. I've made some mistakes, and so it's not perfect. Now this looks like it. Yeah. So now it's going to be a little harder with lower upgrades. Bots are going to be faster on the straights, but remember, there's always going to be slower in the corners. So again though, this is possible with lower upgrades. You might need to take this first cut. And again, I'm not doing it. You'll have to check out that other video. But just look how much I gain on these guys. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. There, I was just trying to be careful. You really want to avoid damage. But sometimes you avoid it so much that you just give up time. I'm trying to be careful. Part of it is knowing how the bots behave. So now that I've passed the perpetual point, there will be no more changing in bot behavior. They're going to drive the same way. Woo! Getting through traffic can be fun. They're going to drive the same way for the rest of the race. Unless it gets super backed up. If I get like mega packs, oh, check this out. He's in the high line, I'm in the low line. I got the overtake, even though he's faster than me. Yep. Sometimes if bots get super bunched up, they will slow down a little bit more in the corners, like even more than normal. So we'll just see what happens here. The faster, drove that a little too aggressive. The faster your laps are back to back, the closer the bots get. It can get really tightly packed, actually. It's kind of interesting. So here it looks like I've lost them, but you just watch. Once I catch up, you'll see it's still nicely grouped. So here I'm going low. We usually go high there. There's two ways you could take that last cut, that chicane there. You could cut it to the left or to the right. When you cut it to the left, you can get back on track a little bit more, but I usually end up getting in an accident. So I find it better to take the right-hand cut, and that just makes it better. Maybe you could drive your way through it, but it gets kind of narrow and windy, and bots are acting different. Woo! Wow, I got away with it. What was that guy doing? I must have passed him, and then it's kind of like Ghost Nitro 2.0, where they just go kamikaze and kind of take you out. Ooh, that didn't sound good. We'll check in a little bit here. Doesn't feel like that's good. Yeah, cracked windshield, heavy cracks. So I'm gonna call that stage 2 damage. So now I've got to adjust what I'm doing because my handling will have gone down. But can't get more damage, so you're gonna see me using my bumper a bit. So there's only 2 stages of damage. First stage would be mild cracks in my windshield, like just a few, but that was a really cracked up windshield. And it really depends on the car for how it will affect you. So with this car, I definitely notice it in my cornering. That's where I just can't take the corners as aggressively, so I'm gonna have to adjust that. Now, watch this. You gotta be very careful going through the traffic. I did plan all that. Oof. Okay, that wasn't a T-bone crash, but yes, going through traffic like that, you can get T-boned. T-bone is when a car hits you directly in the side. So perpendicular, that's where 2 lines are perfectly colliding with each other, versus like an equal sign would be 2 cars that are parallel to each other. So you don't want to get T-boned. It'll waste all sorts of time, and wasting time will lower your earnings. All right? Now we're only going to take this to 50 kilometers, and at the 50 kilometer mark, I will do a little freeze frame to show you that that's where I'm calling the race time-wise. And then I'm going to bring my car to a stop and go back to the 50 kilometer point so we see exactly what my earnings were to 50 kilometers. Then you can use that to extrapolate from there. Now look at that. I'm gaining on him, but he starts pulling away even though I'm drafting. Isn't that interesting? Well, that's because after the perpetual point, cars are faster than fully upgraded cars. So this can be more difficult when you've got lower upgrades and damage. But look at this. They're still horrible at corners. Like they all pulled away from me, Oh, well, see what I mean? I wasn't being careful enough after damage. You got to adjust pretty fast. Too many mistakes like that with lower upgrades and you're going to be losing the race here. Well, you won't lose it, but it just won't go as long. To really make use of this, ooh boy, that was that was a tag, wasn't it? To really make use of this, you should be hiring the agent and the manager, which I did not do. I want to give you the base numbers. And it's also really good to do this on a bonus fame or bonus R day. That's where you really multiply your earnings. Okay, here comes that freeze frame I talked about right now. And then, massive skid. Squeal those tires, baby. Okay, we're going to go faster here as I go back to the 50-kilometer spot. Actual race time, 10 minutes, 19 seconds. So, I was earning 6,791 R per minute and 1,082 fame per minute. That is really good. Now, of course, your per minute earnings go down with lower PR. Thank you for joining me today.